A tense standoff between police and a shooting suspect who was barricaded in his North Kohala home ended late Tuesday afternoon. Big Island Video News caught a glimpse of 37-year-old Macton D. Thraman of Kapa'au as he was being transported away by police following his arrest at 4:26 p.m. after a 20-hour standoff, following the alleged shooting of a police officer and the suspect's girlfriend. The incident began Monday evening when patrol officers responded to a report of a domestic disturbance at this home at the 53-4200 block of Oconee Pule Highway between Kapa'au and Pololu Valley. Neighbors in the area reported loud yelling and screaming coming from the residents. According to police, several people were then seen running from the house as officers approached from the driveway. A gunshot was fired at the officers, striking one officer in his right forearm. We spoke to the Hawaii County Police Department about the incident in the days afterwards.
A gunshot was fired at the officers, striking one officer in his forearm. A woman from the house approached the officers and said she had been shot in her outer thigh by her boyfriend. Both officers and the woman were taken to North Hawaii Community Hospital and treated for their injuries.
As of Tuesday evening, they were both in stable condition. Police on Wednesday said the officer will remain in the hospital for at least a couple of days. The 37-year-old Thraman barricaded himself in the house.
The Hawaii Police Department Special Response Team responded, and neighboring residents were evacuated as a precaution.
The highway was shut down.
I live just around the block and I got 50 feet, but I need to go clean a house because around here you got to work and pay rent or... I noticed a lot of people were stopped along the road waiting to get through, and I was concerned. When I saw the rental cars, I wanted to make sure that they knew what was happening and they could turn around if they like. And then I also encouraged them to come back tomorrow because who wants to miss Pololu?
The Hawaii Police Department Special Response Team converged on the residents, and shots were fired by the suspect, who eventually surrendered. The investigation revealed he fired several rounds. It's unknown the exact amount yet. The detectives are still investigating at that time. The shots were fired from a rifle. Some through the window, some through the wall. The negotiator was called in around midnight on that Tuesday morning. He continued his negotiation for 16 hours. Towards the end of the negotiation, it was decided that pepper spray would be introduced into the home, and that was where the rounds and were shot into the home to encourage the suspect to give up, and he did shortly thereafter. On July 14th at 4:26 p.m., Macton Thraman, male 37 of a Kapa'au address, was taken into custody for multiple offenses.
No one was injured during his arrest. After Thraman was taken into custody, quiet returned to the neighborhood, but the bullet holes visible in the windows of the home where the standoff occurred were a reminder of the gun violence that shook North Kohala over that tense day.
It's chilling for our officers also. All of a sudden, they're under fire, and in this case, in all indications, he just exited his vehicle and got shot at. It does seem to indicate that the suspect has no fear of anything, and which is scary for most people, including law enforcement, and mostly for citizens also. I think our patrol officers, the negotiators, did an outstanding job. The patrol officers that initially went to the scene and settled the perimeter did an amazing job. The SRT unit showed a lot of restraint and patience in resolving this thing in a very peaceful manner. There was a lot of potential for a lot of injuries. We did have 2 injuries, but thankfully no others after the SRT unit showed up and the situation got resolved. Currently, we're still investigating, and we're anticipating charges shortly. Our whole purpose and the mission of the special response team is to resolve things peacefully. We are not there to escalate situations. We want situations to resolve peacefully without any further injury. There are options that we can exercise during those times. But a lot of times, restraint is the best for the community, for our officers. The negotiators that we have are highly trained, and we want to use them in the initial stages to try to resolve this thing by having the negotiators work this thing out and bring the suspect out peacefully. The department wants to wish the victim and the officer a speedy recovery, and our prayers go to their families, and we hope that it's going to be it's going to be a trying time for all of them, and our prayers are with them.